What is going on, everyone? We are back with the final episode of our Raiders franchise here in Madden 16, and you may be slightly surprised to see my face in this video. We normally reserve the face cam to the Trey Cash career, but I thought since it is the final episode, there's not really going to be anything too special in this episode, so I thought I'd just, kind of take it in live, take a final look at this Raiders team. It's been a blast playing through Madden 16. I thought Madden 16 was a really, really good game, although now getting Madden 17 might be even better, but I had a blast playing through this Raiders franchise. This team was really, really fun to play with. I had some reservations when I first picked the Raiders and first started this franchise. I didn't know if it was going to be good, but you know what? It turned out pretty darn good. So we're in the playoffs here. I decided to end up just simulating through the remainder of our 5th season, and then once I got there and with Madden 17 coming out, decided, you know what? Maybe we just simulate through the playoffs, just wrap this series up so we can get into Madden 17 and our new franchise. So we're going to go through, we're going to simulate through the playoffs, but before we do that, I'm going to take a look at the stats from this season so we can get a final look at how everybody did. We only played the first 2 games, so after season, or after week 2 and on, this is all simulated stats, but still, we're going to see how our guys did. Take a look maybe at a couple of career stats, take a look at some of the awards for this year, and then we'll get through the rest of the season, the rest of the playoffs, and then finish this video and this series out. So first up, the stats. And Chase Moss, a good season, not a great one. 4,297 yards passing, 40 touchdowns, but he threw 25 interceptions. There were quite a few games, there was quite a few games where he had 0 picks, and there's quite a few games where he had 4 or 5 picks. He was very up and down this season, which, not controlling him, having the stats or the attributes really take over can have an effect on that, but Moss didn't get hurt at all. He was the only one to take a snap at quarterback this year. Colin Kaepernick did not get any playing time, so that is good to see. He is a durable guy, but still not an amazing season for Chase Moss. The running game, Darren Ellis, a pretty solid season. 300 carries, 1,300 yards, 13 and almost 50, 6 touchdowns. Latavius Murray, because the simulation, it works a little bit different with substitutions. He got a lot more playing time than he did last year. 161 yards, 161 carries, 645 yards, 14 touchdowns though. He was a touchdown monster this year. Chase Moss, this is not a good average, folks. 115 carries, 120 yards, and a single touchdown. And the Denard Robinson got a little bit of playing time. He had 24 carries for 98 yards and 2 TDs. Receiving game was a 2-headed monster this year, which is what I like to see. 1 catch is going to separate Cooper and Cooks. 11.36 for Cooper, 10.64 for Cooks, 11 TDs and 9 respectively. So these 2 guys had very, very good seasons. Lucas Jackson, our tight end, 51 for 667 and 8 TDs. Nice season for him. Devin Funchess, his first year with the team, he had 612 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trey Stevens, I'm going to keep just calling him by both last names. I really don't know how to pronounce it. 28 catches for 409 yards and 6 touchdowns. This is my one regret from simulating this last season. I really wanted to play with this kid. From seeing what he did in week 1, I was so pumped to be able to use this guy for a full season, but didn't turn out. Still had a pretty decent rookie season. And then Darren Ellis, 22 for 119, 2 touchdowns, and Latavius Murray, 15 for 155 and 2 touchdowns as well. On defense, Eric Darman led the team with 142 tackles, Clinton Dix with 114, and Tyrann Mathieu with 100. Tackles for loss, it is going to be Aldon Smith with 9, Darman, Mack, and Williams with 7, and then Edwards Jr. with 4. Sacks, it is going to be, no surprise here, Khalil Mack leading the team with 13. Nobody else over 5. Aldon Smith had 4.5, and DJ Hardy had 4. Edwards Jr. going to add 3.5 as well. And then interceptions, we actually managed some picks this year. Funny enough, when we simulate, we finally get some picks. Dominic Ryder-Cromartie had 5. Tyrann Mathieu had 4. Darman and Boykin had 3. Irvin and Dix with 2. And then Davisiah Pearson ends up the only pick he gets was the pick 6 he had in the first game. He actually, looking at his whole season, had 64 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, half a sack, and an interception. Didn't get a ton of field time, even though he was the 3rd corner, but still didn't really end up having as big of an impact I thought he might have after the first game of the season. Looked like he was going to be a monster in the first game, but didn't really turn out for the season throughout. Forced fumbles, Khalil Mack had 3, Aldon Smith had 3, and Clinton Dix had 2. And then recoveries, it is going to be Aldon Smith with 3, Dominic Ryder-Cromartie with 2. So Dominic Ryder-Cromartie, as a whole, had a pretty solid season when you look at everything. And then let's see, did anybody block a kick? Somebody did. Dan Williams and DJ Hardy blocked a kick. That's something we normally don't see. And then Khalil Mack had a safety, And who had some defensive touchdowns? We know Devasai Pearson had one, Dominic Ryder-Cromartie had one, and Tyrann Mathieu had one as well. So a pretty good season for the defense. Trey Steffens ended up taking, well, wait, did we only take one kickback with him? I think so. So he had another kick return for a touchdown, almost had 1,000 yards. So he did have over 1,000 yards of total yardage for the year. Tavon Austin had some opportunities as well. So really, if he had taken most of them, he would have had well above 1,000 yards. Tavon Austin had 695, and Danny Williams, the rookie, was able to take back a couple. And the punt returns, this one not quite as good. Tavon Austin, look at this. He took a punt return back to the house. Looks like Steffens must have been hurt at some point during the season because Tavon Austin was taking punts back. He had 19, 145, and a TD. For the awards, it's going to be a young guy taking home MVP. Casey Porter, a member of the 14-2 Cowboys, is going to win MVP. Jameis Winston will finish second. Chase Moss right up there, finishing third. I'm going to take a wild guess and say if he hadn't had 25 interceptions, he might have been a little bit higher on this list. Coach of the year is going to go to Jason Garrett. Jack Del Rio, our coach, is going to finish second. For the awards in the AFC, it is going to be Ryan Tannehill on a 6-10 Dolphins team winning Offensive Player of the Year. Our closest one is going to be Chase Moss at 6. For Defensive Player of the Year, Eric Darman, the middle linebacker, going to finish second. Very nice. He finishes second behind J.J. Watt. Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Mario Jose. It looks like Steffen's going to finish fourth. Again, if we probably had control of him, he probably had a good shot of winning Rookie of the Year because we were going to use him a lot this year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we are going to have Devasai Pearson with that one pick six and the couple tackles for loss and a half sack. He's going to finish sixth in that race as Corey Finley is going to win that one for the Texans. Best QB, here we go, Chase Moss. Now that's a bit surprising considering Ryan Tannehill won Offensive Player of the Year. Chase Moss had 25 interceptions, but you know what? We'll take it. He takes home an award. Best running back, Le'Veon Bell. Darren Ellis is going to finish fourth. Best wide receiver is going to go to Sammy Watkins. Amari Cooper is in fourth. Best offensive lineman, Rodney Hudson. We normally control the best offensive lineman category pretty much every season. Best D lineman, Khalil Mack finishes second to J.J. Watt. Not going to hate on that one. Best linebacker is going to go to C.J. Mosley. I doubt we're going to have anybody. Well, no, Darman should be on that list. He is going to be eighth. Best DB is going to go to two Broncos there, Chris Harris Jr. and Desmond Trufant, and we're going to have Rodgers-Cromartie finishing fifth there. Finish this series off. We'll simulate through the playoffs and see who is going to take home the Super Bowl. Could we get another one here? We have the first round bye. Let's see if we can take one more Super Bowl home before this series is done. First, a refresher on the wild card matchups. It's Browns at Steelers, Rams at Falcons, Texans at Jets, and Buccaneers at Bears. And the winners of those games will be the Browns over the Steelers 31-28, Falcons over the Rams 27-3, the Texans over the Jets 38-33, and the Buccaneers over the Bears 33-27. So your divisional round matchups will be Browns at the Raiders, Buccaneers at the Cowboys, Texans at the Jaguars, and Falcons at the Seahawks. So, can we take out the Browns? Let's sure hope so. Let's find out. And we will. We take it 35-30. We'll take a look at this game in a second, but it's going to be the Cowboys over the Buccaneers 38-31, the Texans over the Jaguars 27-13, and the Falcons over the Seahawks 33-27. But let's take a quick look here and see how this game came and went, as looks like we outgained the Browns, so we kind of dominated that one. As we're going to go 266, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick for Chase Moss. Blake Bortles, a member of the Browns, 231, 3 TDs, and no picks. The running game, it's going to be Darren Ellis, 19 for 72 and a touchdown. Turbin, 18 for 71. Looks like he had a fumble. Receiving, it's Brandon Cook, 6 for 100 and a touchdown. Woods, 5 for 41 and a TD. Fleener, 5 for 52 and a TD. Mims, 5 for 75 and a touchdown. Cooper, just 57 yards. And then on defense, let's see, did we create any turnovers? Darman with 12 tackles. 2 tackles for loss. Williams, the only guy with a tackle for loss. No sacks for either team. And we had just the 1 pick for us is Deshaun Gibson. So it looks like, and I think I saw, no, that was the Browns that actually put up 21 points in the 4th quarter. So they nearly came back, but we hold on for the win. And now we will be taking on the Houston Texans in the AFC Championship. This is where we got stopped last year. Let's see if the CPU during the simulation can do a little bit better. And we will be headed back to the Super Bowl at least. We win it 42-20, a big win, and we'll be taking on the Atlanta Falcons as they just sneak by the Cowboys. Now looking at this game, let's see. It looks, again, domination in terms of yards. domination in terms of the score this time as well, as it's going to be 332, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions for Chase Moss. Not the same for Kyle Griffin, 283, no touchdowns, and 3 picks. So that obviously going to be the story of this game. 20 for 87 for Darren Ellis, 17 for 72 for Lorenzo Green, 14 for 33, 2 touchdowns for Murray, as Latavius Murray coming up big, stealing, vulturing some touchdowns this season. Carlos Hyde, 10 for 32 in a TD. Receiving, oh my gosh, Amari Cooper, 10 for 201 and 2 touchdowns. That is ridiculous. Cooks manages 5 for 75, so those two pretty much taking all the yards in this game. Defense, it is going to be Darman leading the way in tackles again. 2 tackles for a loss for Wright and Watts. We had a couple guys getting those. 1 sack, that's going to go Khalil Mack, and then the 3 interceptions are going to go 2 to HaHa Clinton Dix and 1 to Ben Blake. So here we go. This is the Super Bowl matchup. Atlanta Falcons, Oakland Raiders. Can we take home one more Super Bowl? Everybody cross your fingers. Let's see if we can do it. And the Raiders will finish it out strong as we win another Super Bowl, 30-27. A close game here. Let's take a look. 509 total yards of offense. No turnovers for the Falcons either. 1 for the Raiders, but it looks like we were just able to hold on there at the end. The Falcons put up 17 in the 4th, but we take it by 3. Let's take a look at these stats here. Chase Moss, what a game. 360 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I'm going to assume he was the MVP, but let's wait and see what Amari Cooper's stats are like. Derek Barr, 139 and no interceptions, no touchdowns, but not many yards for him. Looks like the defense came to play. Darren Ellis, 24 for 106. Latavius Murray, 7 for 32. And I'm not sure where the Falcons, apparently the Falcons didn't. That's a weird glitch we're just seeing here as we're simmering through some of these, as that's weird. Receiving game is gonna be, no, actually, look at this. The rookie coming up big in the Super Bowl. 5 catches for 102 yards. Julio Jones, 6 for 96 and 2 touchdowns. Okay, so I'm just realizing that these passing stats are not showing correctly either. Ours are, at least, so I'm not really sure why that happens. But Julio Jones, 6 for 96 and 2 touchdowns. Casey Warren, 8 for 123. Steffens, 102. Amari Cooper, 6 for 88. So I am going to assume now that Chase Moss won the Super Bowl MVP. On defense, it is going to be Brandon Marshall leading everyone with 14. Matthew is going to lead us with 12 tackles. 1 tackle for loss for Dan Williams. It's going to be 1 sack for Mario Edwards. Half sack for a lot of guys. I'm not going to read all those names off. And then no interceptions for either team. But unbelievable. We get a Super Bowl victory in our final season. So, well, we had some success early in the franchise, but apparently it takes the CPU for us to win another one. We did manage to get 2 Super Bowls, 2 AFC championships. We never win. I don't really know what yearly award we would have won as an owner, but we had some success with this franchise. I can't remember in past Madden editions if we had a team as successful as this Raiders team. It was a good one. This was a really, really good franchise. I really enjoyed playing as the Raiders. As I said before, I was a little bit worried using the Raiders for this franchise, but they turned out to be a really, really good team, really talented team. Did not really realize the talent this team had. We had some good drafts. We were able to build a pretty solid team, and then we slipped up just a couple times, but still a successful franchise, a successful series, I would say. If you've watched all the videos, a couple of them, one of them, whatever, I hope at least what you watched you enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed making it. And we'll move now into Madden 17, onto a new franchise that will be out soon. I was going to try and start it this week, but I'm just waiting to feel out Madden 17 a little bit, just to make sure there's no major issues. Last thing I want is to start the franchise and find out there's an issue and then have to restart it later. So whether that still comes out this week or whether it's out early next week, our new Madden 17 franchise is very, very close to being here. But that is going to be it for this video and this series. If you enjoyed it, please go to give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe to see any future videos that I make. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.